Welcome to this video on creating in-text and works cited citations using the MLA 9th edition. Citation styles are rules on how to format the sources used in your paper. It was created and updated by the Modern Language Association. An MLA is primarily used in disciplines such as the arts, English, literature, and cultural studies, so check your assignment for which style to use. These rules mean that your citations will follow a consistent format, so readers can use them to locate specific sources of interest. Your citations also provide evidence of your arguments and credit the author's original work. In-text citations should be included in any sentence where you paraphrase or quote information from a source. The parts that make up a citation are called elements. The elements of an MLA in-text citation are the author's last name and the page number or page range where that information is found in the text. Those elements should go in parentheses at the end of the sentence, which is why it is called a parenthetical citation. And there is only a space between the author and the number, no comma. If you include the author's name in the sentence, that is called a narrative citation, and you only need to include the page numbers in parentheses at the end of the sentence. If there are two authors for a source, you will include both last names in parentheses with and the page number. If there are three or more authors, you will include the first author's last name and the phrase et al. With a period. If there is no page number, you can look to see if there are other ways the text is divided, such as chapters, and include that information. If there is no author, you should include the next element of the citation, which will most likely be the title of the source, in quotation marks. It should be shortened to a few words if it's a long title. This helps readers locate that source in your works cited page, so it is important that they match up. For specific scenarios, you should reference an online toolkit such as Excelsior Writing Lab or a paper MLA handbook, which you can access at the library. Your works cited page should be at the end of your paper and will include details on every source you referenced in your paper. First, let's look at the MLA elements chart, which can help us build our citations. For the MLA 9th edition, the MLA created the container chart, which outlines the elements that could be included for any source and the order they should appear in. You only need to include the information that applies to the source you're citing. So these charts can be used as a guide along with templates. Now let's look at a three-step process for using a template to create citations for a works cited page. First, identify the type of source you're citing. Is it a book, a website, a scholarly journal article? This is a journal article by Clayton, Kavanaugh, and Hetch in the Journal of Marketing for Higher Education. Second, we need to locate an MLA citation template for that source type. And this can be found online in a resource like the Writing Lab. On the left side, we need to locate the template that most matches our journal article. In this case, we want to select article from a database. And here is an example of a template that shows a completed citation and the recommended list of elements that we can use from the citation chart. The third step is to use that template to create our citation. For each element of this citation template, I'm going to locate that information in the original source and format it to match the template. The first thing I notice is that this source has 3 authors, but the example only has 1. So I can use the Excelsior Writing Lab section called Guide to MLA Elements and Containers to show me how to format the different elements. Under the author dropdown, for 3 or more authors, it says to use the last name, first name of the first author, comma, et al. So I will go back to my paper and type out their names in that format. So using the template from the author section, I have put in Clayton, comma, Michael, et al. The next element is the article title, which I've copied and pasted and formatted it like our example with quotation marks around it, and the first letter of every word is capital, and I've put a period at the end inside the quotation. The next element is the journal title, which I've copied and pasted and put in italics. The next elements are the volume number and issue number, which I've copied and pasted from the example and inserted volume 22 and number 2 from our journal article and ended that section with a comma. The next element is the date. And I want to check more specific information in the formatting guide to make sure that I format it correctly. In the dropdown for publication date, it says government documents and ebooks should use the year only, and all other sources should use the most specific date available. If there are seasons, seasons should be in lowercase. So if we look down at the bottom, we can see an example that looks like our template. So I've taken the months, July through December 2012, and inserted that with a comma at the end. The next element are the page numbers, and I've inserted those with the 2 P's and a period, and then ending the section with a period. The next element is the location where the journal lives, and that would be the database where we found it. If I scroll up on the journal article, I can see that it's in Business Source Ultimate, and I've inserted that into the citation, put it in italics, and ended it with a comma. And the last element is the link where someone could actually locate this source. So I've copied and pasted the permalink from the database at the end of the citation and finished it with a period. The last thing I have to do is indent all of my lines except the first one. I'm going to go to the end of the first line, hit enter, and tab it over. And now we have a completed MLA 9th edition citation for an article in a database. To locate templates or guidelines on MLA Style, these are some recommended sources, and you can find the links in the description of this video. If you have any questions about citing sources, contact the library on our website at Library.Pace.edu and check out the links in the description of this video.